Tonight, rescued. Relief for 3 trapped miners in northern BC. Measles update. More cases announced for the Northern Health Region. And a polite no. The highway to the Alberta border will not be twinned. Well, good evening and thank you for joining us. And we begin tonight with relief at a remote mine in northern British Columbia. 3 workers who were trapped underground for more than 2 days near Deeds Lake are now safely on the surface following a complex rescue operation. Regan Hasegawa has our top story.
After more than 60 hours trapped deep underground, these scenic views of the Red Chris mine are a sight for sore eyes.
3 workers from high-tech drilling who were safely brought to surface last night. They are being reunited with their families early this morning. We are deeply relieved that all 3 individuals are safe and in good health and spirits.
One worker described the ordeal as a wild week and said he was glad to be out of there. The diamond drillers from BC, Manitoba, and Ontario were rescued faster than experts had expected, thanks to their quick thinking and the help of new technology.
Safety protocols work. Incredible that Kevin, Darren, and Jesse did exactly what they were trained to do, and because of that, they stayed safe.
The trio got trapped Tuesday after 2 rock falls in the access tunnel. They were able to get to a refuge chamber equipped with everything they needed to survive for weeks, but they did lose all communication.
We do the daily inspections, we do monthly inspections, we actually do second line of defense inspections with teams from external to observe and see. This one that caught us by surprise.
Experts say these kinds of rock falls are rare.
It's just nothing but uncertainty, radical uncertainty.
He says it appears everything was done to prevent the disaster, but the nature of the work is unpredictable.
They were probably drilling holes for explosives. What they were building was a ramp, or what was known as a decline into the underground.
He expects we'll soon be hearing about these kinds of situations more often.
BC is really open pit mining country, and it has been for a while. Very few underground mines. We're going to see more underground mines because of the demand for metals.
BC may lead the industry in safety, but experts warn automation is the next step to prevent future emergencies. The open pit mine at Red Chris is resuming operations, but the underground project will remain closed until the investigation is complete. Regan Hasegawa, CTV News, Vancouver.
Well, the BC Centre for Disease Control reporting 8 new cases of the measles across British Columbia, all of them in the Northern Health Region. And that brings the total number of cases for the region this year to 90. Along with that, the BC CDC now saying there are 16 probable cases here in the north. The total number of cases this year in BC is now 130. The vast majority of them are from here in the Northern Health Region. Health experts say the best way to prevent catching the highly contagious virus is to get vaccinated. The emergency department at the Tumbler Ridge Health Centre is on diversion today. The ER has been closed today, the diversion starting at 6 this morning. Northern Health saying normal operations are expected to resume Monday morning, and once again, staffing challenges are to blame. Patients in need of life-threatening emergency care are being advised to call 911 to be transported to the nearest available hospital. With interprovincial trade dominating headlines since the trade war with the United States started, the mayor of Dawson Creek says he's disappointed in the province's response about plans to twin Highway 2 to the Alberta border. The Peace River Regional District sent a letter to the Transportation Minister to reconsider twinning the highway. Dawson Creek Mayor Darcy Dober says counties in Alberta are pushing the Danielle Smith government to do the same. Now, Dober says the highway can be dangerous with bumper-to-bumper traffic at times. He says, quote, "We need to look after the safety of our residents, especially in the winter," unquote. Around 20 years ago, Dober says the province did have completed plans to twin the road all the way from Fort St. John to the Alberta border, but the Liberal government at the time shelved those plans. Well, the Transportation Ministry sent the letter back to the PRD. Dober describes the answer as, quote, "a polite no." The mayor adds, with how often emergency services are at accidents on the highway, something needs to be done. Well, financial help is on the way for BC farmers and ranchers who are struggling with drought and the rising cost of production. The province and Ottawa are looking to help farmers and ranchers who have suffered financially due to factors such as poor yields, rising costs, or market changes. Changes are being made to the agri-stability program to provide more financial support. Effective today, there are several enhancements to the 2025 agri-stability program. Compensation is being increased from 80 to 90%, and that means producers will receive 90 cents for every dollar of eligible income decline. The compensation cap is also being doubled from $3 million to $6 million. BC farmers and ranchers have until next Thursday to enroll in the program. While many Canadian tourists are staying closer to home, people are still coming from far and wide to visit Jasper. It's been 1 year since a third of the Jasper town site was destroyed by a catastrophic fire. The eager return of tourists is a bright spot in the ongoing recovery. Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more.
Alpine Village Cabin Resort is rebuilding its legacy, one log cabin at a time. Last year's wildfire destroyed 25 of its 56 cabins and surrounding property.
There's been a lot of change. It was devastating to lose half of our property.
Co-owners Rena and Chris Allen say it's meant a 65% drop in their income. Why, 1 year later, they're overjoyed to open their doors to tourists again.
They've been bringing us chocolates and baking and flowers and everything, and we've had many, many hugs.
The property is fully booked, but they consider it half full. They're still in the process of rebuilding 18 cabins.
A lot of people were quite sad, quite upset because they had lost their favorite cabin that they'd been returning to.
The tourists staying say they don't mind the construction.
We had a couple from Switzerland staying in this cabin just the other day, and he says, "Oh, I'm not upset at all that we're beside the construction. I love seeing it because we don't build out of logs in Switzerland."
Tourists embracing the different but still picturesque landscape.
I visited here in 2010. A lot has changed, but it's great to be back here to see just how beautiful it is.
In terms of the views, it's still incredible. It's so amazing to be here, right?
Parks Canada says tourism in the national park was down 2% in May and June compared to last year before the fire hit. Visitation was slightly higher in April.
People are coming back. Town is busy, the park is busy, but there's always space for people to come and visit. We're actively inviting people to come and enjoy Jasper this summer.
The Jasper Wildfire Complex burned more than 32,000 hectares, leaving 25% of campgrounds in the park closed for the year. With campgrounds already in high demand, they're fully booked this summer.
The occupancy rates are pretty good. So I don't know that we could fit many more people in the destination.
With a third of the town site destroyed, Tourism Jasper says there's 20% less places to stay for visitors.
Hotel occupancy has been running around 96%, which is really, really good. It's very hard to get higher than that.
Steady income, that's crucial for businesses.
We're not going to have any insurance help through the winter, so this will really just be, we're going to have to make as much money as we can, keep our margins tight.
With summer in full swing, many tourists aren't letting the damaged landscape deter them from visiting the iconic mountain destination. Some tourists are even making it a priority to come back to Jasper after the wildfire.
I was on the train almost here from Vancouver, and we had to turn around in the middle of the night because of the fire and go back to Vancouver, and they sent us home. So we're trying again this year.
The post-fire landscape, a lesson in nature for tourists.
It provides an opportunity to see natural processes and the regeneration of the park and the ecosystem.
The Allens helping that process along on their property.
Back in September, my son arranged with some friends of his who were tree planters to plant 10,000 small native seedlings.
They've steadily grown, sprouting hope. Like nature, this business can return to its former glory. In Jasper, Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News.
Two key figures of the so-called Freedom Convoy protest will now have to wait until October the 7th to learn if they'll spend any time behind bars. Tamara Leach and Chris Barber were both convicted of mischief back in April. The conviction follows their roles in the January 2022 protests that filled the streets of downtown Ottawa for weeks. The Crown is seeking a prison sentence of 7 years for Leach, 8 years for Barber. In addition to prison sentences, the Crown is also looking to seize Barber's truck, which was used in the protest. A forfeiture hearing on that matter is scheduled for September the 12th. Reaction is still pouring in after all 5 former junior hockey players were acquitted in a high-profile sexual assault trial. The story captured national headlines, putting a focus on hockey culture and the meaning of consent. CTV's Adrian Goberel followed the trial closely and today spoke with someone working to educate young hockey players.
A verdict delivered, a sports culture remains in the spotlight.
They found me lying on a floor in the bathroom, unconscious.
Kathleen LaRoche was 23 years old when she believed she was drugged and then eventually sexually assaulted in 2015 by a major junior hockey player in Quebec, who she says would go on to have a successful NHL career.
I called him. They found me unconscious. What happened? He said, just the only thing is I'm about to sign with the NHL. Please don't talk about it. So, that's what I did.
In denial for years, she suppressed the memory of what she says took place.
When Me Too wave came, my body started having anxiety symptoms, as if my body remembered, even if my head didn't want to.
As part of her personal journey and to help educate athletes, LaRoche is now working with hockey players and coaches at all levels, starting as young as 15 years old, sharing her experience and the importance of consent and self-awareness.
I want to educate people like him to protect people like me.
Author Laura Robinson wrote Crossing the Line, that examines the pervasive culture of Canada's national sport.
In my book, I have two guys who were convicted, actually, Jarrett Reed and Andrew Power, as they were convicted as junior players. They're both coaching right now.
Following this week's verdicts, one-time star goalie Carter Hart had his lawyer share this message.
He is committed to sharing what he has learned with others in his personal circle and in his professional life.
We need to hear what Carter Hart believes those lessons are. We have to stop acting like this, and we have to make sure that there's not a generation after us acting like this.
For LaRoche, that's her ultimate goal.
By helping them understand themselves more, they can be more conscious about their actions.
LaRoche says she's witnessed a willingness from young athletes who are eager to change the narrative, adding that she's hopeful for the next generation. Adrian Goberel, CTV News, London, Ontario.
The shooting of a Saskatchewan RCMP officer triggered a public safety alert yesterday.
We do take that incredibly seriously, but we have to balance the safety of the public with that intrusion.
The officer was shot early Thursday morning after responding to a report of an armed individual at a residence on the Musco-Weequin First Nation. The suspect fled the scene before the safety alert was sent out. He was arrested later in the morning. Charges have not been laid yet. As for the officer, he's expected to survive their injuries. The Supreme Court of Canada has given a thumbs down to hearing a legal case involving an emoji. The country's highest court dismissed an application by a Saskatchewan farmer to appeal a decision by the Court of Appeal of Saskatchewan. The appeal court upheld a verdict that found a thumbs-up emoji met signature requirements. The judge in the case ruled the emoji was legally binding agreement between the farmer and a grain buyer. Back in 2021, a contract was sent by text to the farmer for delivery of flax, and the response was this thumbs-up emoji. However, the product was not delivered, and the farmer was then taken to court. First, it was July 21st. Then the date for a trade deal with the United States was moved to August 1st. Now, Donald Trump says a final deal may not happen at all, making tariffs an unavoidable reality for the Canadian economy. As negotiations between Ottawa and Washington continue behind the scenes, the U.S. president seems intent on creating economic chaos and confusion. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
U.S. President Donald Trump says most trade deals will be finished by August 1st. But as for us,
we haven't really had a lot of luck with Canada. I think Canada could be one where they'll just pay tariffs, not really a negotiation.
Hot on the heels of senior Canadians declaring progress and encouragement after D.C. meetings.
I had a productive, cordial discussion meeting with Secretary Lutnick.
We don't have a deal with Canada. We haven't been focused on it.
It looks like we're trying to negotiate with the guy at the reception desk. Commerce Secretary Lutnick's not going to make decisions.
Ottawa has certainly been focused on Washington.
I hope the Prime Minister and the government will start doing is being a little bit more forceful in putting out exactly what we're going to do in terms of preparing workers who are going to be affected.
The hit is starting to be material and financial in nature.
The Canadian Chamber of Commerce says the months of uncertainty are toxic for business.
It's not going to go away on August 1st, even if we have a temporary deal, because we are facing a real review of CUSMA, which is the big one.
But for now, all eyes are focused on August 1st, with no one having a clear idea of what will happen before the day the president has threatened to impose 35% tariffs on all goods not covered by CUSMA. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Canadians are being warned to watch out for fake online ads as scammers increasingly use deep fakes and bogus celebrity endorsements to promote products that aren't approved or don't even exist. The Better Business Bureau says fraudsters are using social media and email to promote everything from phony smartwatches to miracle weight loss pills. Artificial intelligence is also being used to create fake videos of trusted public figures and medical professionals in order to push products. Well, the Better Business Bureau says these ads prey on people with legitimate health concerns and can put their well-being at risk.
It can be a serious issue. You don't want to be taking some sort of supplement or using some sort of device that is not legitimate, is not reputable, because it could actually harm your health. So that's what we're concerned about, beyond losing money.
People are encouraged to talk to their doctor before buying anything and check ingredients with Health Canada. The Bureau also has a scam tracker tool on its website to research companies. All right, please do stay tuned. I'll be right back after the break with a look at the weekend weather. Stay tuned.